culture.
Are you ready for some hot and fresh science facts? Caution, contents may be hot and fresh science facts. I love science. Science has brought us the theory of evolution and E=mc², and the ongoing trend of no longer drinking arsenic in order to have a beautifully pale face. I'm looking at you, Victorian England. But sadly, for the busy likes of you and me, science isn't always entirely accessible. You have to read books or watch hour-long documentaries. Or not, because sometimes all it takes is a few minutes of your time to sit down, log into YouTube, and listen to me say that I'm Peter from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 science facts you won't believe are true. Let's begin. Number 10, light from stars could be older than the human race when it hits your eye. Light is not the solid, unbroken beam that it appears to be when you getting slizzard at a laser show, mate. In fact, a single beam is actually made up of countless little packets of energy called photons, and the light from stars is no different, other than the fact that the photons themselves have to travel literally astronomical distances to get to Earth, which takes a mighty long time. Now, the Andromeda Galaxy, for example, is just over 2.5 million light years away and is one of the most distant objects that can be seen with the naked eye. As we know, a single light year is the distance that light can travel in a year, which means that the photons coming from Andromeda first set off 2.5 million years ago, when there was only the decidedly not human Homo habilis knocking about on Earth. That's some old ass light. Number 9, octopuses have 3 hearts and 9 brains. Greedy cunts. As if octopuses weren't weird enough with their 8 limbs and blue blood, they also have a 200% bonus in the heart department and 9, count 'em, 9 brains. Now, one of the hearts pumps blood around the whole body just like our heart does, but the other 2 specifically circulate blood to the gills. As for the brains, an octopus has 1 for each tentacle and a 9th to act as a nerve center. God, 1 brain per limb? Would it kill Mother Nature to share things out a bit? There are a fair few guys at What Culture who've been muddling through without a brain for years. Number 8, neutron stars are unfathomably dense. Density is defined in Peter's terms as how much stuff you got crammed into a certain space, and the king of all densities is the neutron star. Now, without going into the boring subatomic details about electron capture, these stars are essentially made up of a bunch of neutrons that are crammed so tightly together that you can fit an unbelievably enormous mass into an unbelievably tiny area. Put simply, a neutron star just 60 kilometers across weighs as much as 2 of our suns. A mere cubic meter of neutron star material would weigh the same as all the water in the Atlantic Ocean, and even just a single teaspoon of the stuff would weigh the same as the Great Pyramid of Giza. Would weigh the same as 900 Great Pyramids of Giza. 1 teaspoon, 900 pyramids, density! Number 7, colour blindness was discovered when a man accidentally bought his mother some bright red stockings. It's always nice to have an entry about science history in lists like this. Sometimes the anecdote is better than the discovery. Take colour blindness, for example. Back in the late 1700s, English chemist John Dalton shocked everyone in town when he gifted his own mother a saucy pair of bright red stockings. Dalton and the rest of the community were Protestant Quakers and would only wear plain clothes in dark colours to maintain modesty. So a man giving his old lady what is effectively a piece of sexy underwear was a pretty conspicuous event. John Dalton himself, however, firmly believed that the stockings were blue, as did his brother, which suggested at the time that the condition might be genetic, which it is, and more common in men, which it is. So well done 1700 science for getting that right so early on. And hey, on the subject of colour, number 6, life on Earth used to be purple. These days, plants use chlorophyll to absorb the sun's rays and convert it into energy. They soak up red and blue light and reflect the green, which hits our eyes and gives them their familiar colour. However, some scientists think that early plant life on the planet might have had a purple hue instead. Essentially, the argument is that instead of chlorophyll, ancient plants used a molecule called retinol that gives off a purple hue by reflecting blue and red light and absorbing green, which actually seems quite sensible because sunlight actually contains much more of the green wavelength than blue or red, so you're getting a bigger piece of the pie. But whoa, look out for our old friend natural selection over there. Thanks to the laws of Darwinian evolution, chlorophyll-based plants were able to develop by feeding off all that wasted red, blue and purple light bouncing around the place. And these green guys eventually came out on top. How about that? Number 5, squid can give themselves brain damage by swallowing food. Not to be outdone by the 9-brained octopuses in the Bizarre Bodies department, the colossal squid has a brain shaped like a donut. Yes, with a hole in the middle. The colossal squid has a gaping hole in the middle of its brain, and this of course is to allow its esophagus to pass through the middle. Standard. Being a rather long and narrow creature with all of its organs sort of crammed into one place, it takes this sort of wacky plumbing to actually allow the squid to swallow food and get it into the recesses of its body behind the brain. The drawback here though is that if the squid literally bites off more than it can chew, then it risks getting brain damage by gulping down something far too large to fit through the hole. 32 chews, diddly. 32 chews. Number 4, the T-Rex lived closer to humans than to Stegosaurus. It may still come as a surprise to some people that don't go to enough museums that dinosaurs did not all hang out together in one big Jurassic Park period of natural history. Indeed, the word Jurassic simply refers to one of several dinosaur-infested geological eras, which sort of makes sense. Given that the dinosaurs were ruling the roost for over 165 million years, there was bags of time for all kinds of species to rise and fall, and this ridiculously long reign of the terrible lizards means that on the timeline of natural history, the gap between Tyrannosaurus and humans is a whole 20 million years shorter than the time that elapsed between old Rexy and the Stegosaurus. And hey, you want a bonus fact? I love bonus facts. Cleopatra lived closer in time to the moon landings than the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza. You know, that thing that weighs 1/900th of a neutron teaspoon. Number 3, humans will be able to fly like birds on Titan. Let's go right now. Elon Musk, get it done. Thanks to its thick atmosphere, on Saturn's moon Titan, humans will be able to fly like birds if they just strap some scaled up feathers on their arms. Top banana. A paper entitled You Can Fly, published by the University of Leicester, found that with a wing area of 1.4 square meters and a run-up of 11 meters per second, we could soar with the alien birds. Magical. Number 2, if you could fold a piece of paper 42 times, it would reach the moon. The average distance to the moon from Earth is about 384,000 kilometers, and your average sheet of paper is about 0.01 centimeters thick, so intuitively, you'd think you'd need thousands, if not millions of foldings to reach the moon. The process of repeatedly folding paper, however, increases its thickness exponentially, always doubling the last value, which drastically speeds things up the more you go. The first time you fold it, the paper is only double its original thickness, but when you fold it a second time, it's quadruple its original thickness. By the time you're at the 6th fold, it's already 64 times thicker, and by the time you get to 20 folds, it's 10 kilometers high. At 41 folds, you're more than halfway to the moon, and so only one more fold is needed to double that height and reach the lunar surface. What's more, fold it 50 times, and it'll touch the sun. And set on fire, I guess. And number 1, monkeys can be taught how to use money. But they'll spend it on gambling and prostitutes? The more we learn about our primate cousins, the more we discover how similar we are. Unfortunately, that also includes some of humanity's more unsavory behaviors. Amazingly, capuchin monkeys can actually be taught how to use money and do so with genuine understanding that extends well beyond simply swapping coins for treats. In 2005, Keith Chen and his colleague Laurie Santos trained a troop of capuchin monkeys to use a made-up currency of little silver discs with a hole in the middle, and found that while they were obviously quick to learn they could simply swap the disc with researchers for grapes and little cubes of jelly, they also managed to grasp the abstract concepts of inflation and market value depending on the circulation of the discs and the researchers' response to them. In addition, however, they were also quick to take up gambling, making the same irrational decisions as human punters and showing the same signs of superstition. What's more, they quickly figured out that the money could not only be used to get jelly and grapes, but also sex. Researchers have spotted a few very special transactions being made amongst the moneyed monkeys. Allegedly, one male capuchin was seen to exchange some silver tokens for sex with a female, while in different experiments, male macaque monkeys have been observed paying to see female macaques' bottoms. And hey, make no mistake, the conclusion here is not that monkeys are human-like, it's us humans who are just monkeys with clothes on. And that's our list, but hey, do you know any special science facts that the rest of us don't? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can read more articles like this at whatculture.com, and you can follow us on Twitter right here. I'm Peter from whatculture.com, and I'll see you soon.